Dear student, myself G.U. Patil, I welcome to all of you during this lockdown period for my online lecture series. Now, yesterday I will finish my unit number 5 through this different online lecture series, and today we are going to start the unit number 6, that is application layer, through this today's online lecture. So now today's online lecture topic of discussion is domain name system and dynamic domain name system. So domain name system is also called as, in short, DNS. So that DNS is one kind of protocol that can be used at different platforms. While talking about internet, the domain name space or tree is divided into three different sections. The first is generic domains, second is the country domains, and the third is inverse domain. That is, this DNS, one kind of protocol is there and it is used in different platforms. While talking about internet, that domain name space or tree is divided into three sections. First one is a generic, second is a country, and third was inverse domain. All these three different sections along with the root is as shown in the below diagrams. So in that diagram, three sections, that is country domains, generic domains, and inverse domain, through this root is shown. Now we'll tilt towards the first section, that is called as a generic domain. The generic domain define the registered host according to their generic behavior. Means that generic domains are identified or understand by the behavior of this particular generic domain. Each node in the particular tree defines a domain. So whatever the diagram shows us, so the in diagram there are different nodes are there, and along with these different nodes there should be different domains are there. So each domain or each node of this particular tree defines a domain, which is an index to the domain namespace database. So every node having a different domain, that is ARIO-BIS, COM, EDU, etc, etc, etc. So in that tree diagram, or in that particular diagram, each node consists of different domains, and that domains are nothing but the generic domains which are used for different purpose. So whatever these different labels are present in the particular diagrams, we'll see one by one in the next slide. So in this table there should be there are two columns are there. In first column we can use the labels which are used in already in the tree diagram which is present in the previous slide, and according to these labels, what is the description of that particular label and what is the purpose to use this particular label, we can observe in this particular table. So first label is AERO, AERO. So this label is used for airlines and aerospace companies. Second level is BIZ, that is BIZ. It is used for the business or firms similar to COM. The next level is a COM, COM, that is COM for commercial organization. The next level COOP, that is it is for cooperative business organization. EDU describes the educational institutions. GOV, it is used for the government institutions. INFO, that is info for information service providers. INT, that is for international organizations. MIL, this label is used for military group. Museum, that is used for museum and other non-profit organization. Then name, personal name or individual name, it describes the personal name or individual use, so that label can be used as a generic domain. Then next domain or next level is NET, that is net, it is used for the network support centers. Next level is a ORG, that is for non-profit organizations. And the last level that is PRO, that is pro, that is for it describes the professional individual organizations. So these are the different levels which are used for different purposes in the tree diagram of what generic domain. Now the second domain is called as a country domain. As its name indicates, country, so it is used for naming the different country names. So this country domains section uses two character country abbreviations. For example, US for United States, IN for India. Second level can be organizational or they can be more specific national designations. The United States, for example, uses state abbreviation as a subdivision of US. For example, CA.US. So these are the country domains which are shown in the particular diagram. So in that domain there are different domains used for the different countries, that is US, NZ, IN, etc, etc, etc. And now the last domain or the last section of my DNS, that is domain name system, is inverse domain. The inverse domain is used to map an address to the same. It is simply used for mapping of an address to the particular SEM. As shown in root level diagram, it consists of this only one root. Along with that particular network is there, that is called as ARPA, and that network is used to map the particular address in the different section, that is in address 132, that is IP address is there. For example, it should be 121.145, that is 121.121.45.34.132 in address.arpa index to the particular name, that is called as an inverse domain. Now the second thing for domain name system is DNS messages. So what kind of the messages are used by the domain name system? So we can observe this messages in DNS through this DNS messages. So DNS has two types of messages. First one is a query and second one is a response. Both types of having the same format. That means DNS message format is having two, or it can be classified into two different messages. One is a query and second is a response. Both are having the same format. The query message format consists of header and question records. It consists of header and question records, while talking about the response message consists of header, question records, answer records, authoritative records, and some additional records. So according to the classification, it is well shown in the figure also. In that figure there are two sections are there, the section 1 and section 2, that is section A, this is for query, and section B, this is for response. So in query section, that our query message consists of only two things, that is header and question section. While talking about in section B, that is response, it consists of different sections, that is header, question sections, answer sections, authoritative sections, and additional sections. So we can observe that header section, question sections, both are common in both the sections, that is in query section also as well as in response sections. Only the difference is that 3 to 4 different sections are present in the response message, that is answer sections, authoritative sections, and additional sections. Header: both query and response message having the same header format with the same field set to 0 for the query messages. So in the DNS header format, in the DNS header in the DNS message header format, both query and message having the same header format with some fields set to 0 for the query messages only. The header format is 12 bytes format. So that header format is shown in the figure. It consists of different sections. First section is identification section, second is a flag section, third is the number of question records, number of answer records, number of authoritative records, and number of some additional records. These are well known by us, as we are observing in the previous slide also. So identification as its name indicate is used for the identification what kind of the operations has to be performed by the client to the server. So this will be identified by the particular identification flag. So according to the operations, the symbolic representation or mathematical representation done by these flag fields. So according to the questions or according to the responses or according to the activity done by the client, so it will be well shown by symbolically language through the flag fields. The next field is the number of question records. So this according to the name of this field, number of questions, the number of questions or queries which is asked by the client in that particular field. in that particular field. That's why the name of this field is called as a number of question records. Though all the records, whatever the questions or queries asked are mentioned by the client to the server, the record of all these activities are must be present in this particular field. The next field is a number of answer records. So according to the record of this third field, that is number of question records, in that whatever the number of questions or queries asked by the client to the server, so according to the particular questions or queries, the response sections or answer sections must be responsible to give the answer of that particular questions or queries. So all the records of all these answers to the respective questions and queries must be recorded in the number of answers record sections. Then next field is a number of authoritative records. So in this field, authentication should be done according to the record maintained by questions and according to the record maintained by answer sections. Whatever the questions is there, they must be authoritative, or they must be authenticated, or whatever the answers given by the answer section to the respective questions or queries in the question section, they must be authenticated by the authoritative sections of this field. That's why the name given to the number of authoritative records, and the records of all these authentication procedures must be maintained in these authoritative records. And the last section is number of additional records. This field is used for future use. If the client wants, or we want to make some additional other than these present fields in the DNS message header format, so we can use these additional records. Then types of records. The question records are used in the question sections of the query and response messages. The resource records are used in the answer, authoritative and additional information section of the response messages. So there are two records are there, question records and resource records are there. So question records are used in the question section or query section and the response messages, whereas the resource records are used in the answer, authoritative and additional information section of the response messages. That means both are divided into two groups, that is one group is query and second one group is a section. So in first group there should be a query and response messages, that is called as a question sections or question records, while talking about the second, that is the response, in that there should be a answer, authoritative and additional information of the response messages, that is the resource records are there. So we'll see one by one. Question record is used by the client to get the information from the server. So it is quite simple, as its name indicate question records, the client must be asked the question to the server, and whatever the question is asking by the client to the server is recorded in the question record sections. So next is the resource record section. Resource record section is nothing but each domain name, that is each node of the tree, is associated with the record called as resource records. That means whatever the nodes, we have different nodes in the tree diagram, or each domain is associated with the particular resource record called as, or is associated with the particular records. That records are called as a resource records. The server database consists of resource records. So DNS having the database, and that database contain the different records. Resource records are also what is written by the server to the client. That means this resource record is having additional facility, that it records the whatever the activities done by the server to the client. That means whatever the responses has been given by the server to the client to their questions or to their queries also. So this will be recorded in the resource records. Now till towards the registers. So this is special purpose registers are used by the client in the DNS. But before using that, one question in our mind is that how our new domains are entered into the DNS, or we can say that how we can add the new domains into the DNS. So this is done through only register. The solution of this answer is what? Or registers, a commercial entity accredited by this organization called as a ICANN, A registrar first verifies that the requested domain name is unique and then enters into the DNS database. It is fee of charge. It is a chargeable, that is it is chargeable, means we can pay the particular fee according to the specification or according to the DNS rules and regulations. So now today's there are many registrars are there, and their names and addresses can be found in on the internet through this website, that is www.intenic.net. That means these registrars are very much important for all of us. That is what is the purpose to use these registrars. So before using or before starting these registrars, one question in our mind is that what if we want to add some domains in the existing database, existing domain name systems, so can we do it? So the solution of this answer is what? Yes, through this registrars. But before doing that, or while doing that, registrars must be confirm or verify that your your new domain is unique domain or not through all over the world. If it is domain, then it will be authenticated by this one of the standard organization, that is ICANN. And once it will be verified and authenticated by this particular organization, then it will be entered into the particular database of your domain name system. Then and then it will be possible to add that particular new domain in the database of domain name system. But for doing all this activity, you must charge. So according to the protocol and rules and regulations of the service provider, you must be paid for doing all these things. Now today's we can do this through different registers which are available on the internet society and addresses through this website, that is www.int.nic.net. Now till towards the last section of today's online lecture is a dynamic domain name system, that is DDNS. So while talking about this DDNS, or while learning this DDNS, so is there any necessity to learn this dynamic domain name system? Because we already learned the domain name system. So why it is again needed to learn the dynamic domain name system? So this question will be arise in mind while talking about this DDNS. So solution of this question, or the answer of this question which arises in our mind while learning this DDNS is, in DNS, when there is a change such as adding a new host, removing the host, or changing the IP address, the change must be made to the DNS master file. The size of today's internet does not allow to do the same thing for this kind of manual operations. So the DNS master file must be updated dynamically, and dynamically, if you want to make it dynamically, the dynamic domain name system must be invented. That's why we can use this dynamic domain name system is invented to respond this particular need. That means what? Suppose if the client, or we can want, if we want to make the some necessary changes in the existing DNS system, that means if you want to add the new host, if you want to remove the host, or if you want to change the addresses. So if we make some if you want to make the some these necessary changes, so these changes, while doing these changes, you must be remember that all these changes must be done in the DNS master file. But while doing this, today's internet facility or today's internet protocol not allowed to do this manual operation in that DNS database. So how we can do it? So for doing that, we must have dynamically domain name system. So dynamically domain name system allows us to do all these things in DNS database. That is why we learn this dynamic domain name system here. Then next is encapsulation is nothing but the how we can make the data or header or protocol used by the DNS. So DNS can use the particular UDP or TCP protocol format, that is user datagram protocol or transmission control protocol of transport layer for DNS system. So in both the cases, well-known port used by the server is port number 53. That is port number 53 for DNS. It is uh, it is compulsory for both the protocol, that is UDP and TCP protocol for DNS system. So it is common to both. So this is the uh, a whole thing about what DNS and dynamic DNS is also. So today I have finished this online lecture. Hope all of you understand this very well. If anybody having any queries regarding this, so you can message or you can call me or you can acknowledge me. I am always there for all of you. Thank you very much.